Fridays are awesome. You've made it through the first full week of 2015. Hope you're feeling good. Let's get started with 5 things you need to know about today's headlines. 1. It's cold in America. From the Great Plains to the Deep South, temperatures dove to single digits yesterday. That's in Fahrenheit. 2. Blame the Arctic. It sent the blast of frigid air that glazed firefighters with ice as they worked to put out a blaze in Indiana. It caused districts to cancel or delay school days in several cities, including Chicago, where wind chills were well below zero. Animal control officers were out also in different cities looking to help pets that might have been left out in the cold. Point 3 takes us to France. An intense manhunt was on last night for 2 brothers who were suspected of carrying out Wednesday's terrorist attack at a satire magazine. 12 people, including 2 police officers, were killed. A 3rd suspect has turned himself in. 4. The brothers are in a U.S. database of known or suspected terrorists. They've been on the no-fly list for years. They're now the most wanted men in France. 5. The tail section of Air Asia Flight 8501 has been located in the Java Sea. The plane disappeared in rough weather on December 28th with 162 people aboard. Search officials are hoping the tail will hold the answers to what exactly happened to the flight.
Divers fought the unrelenting currents on the surface of the Java Sea. Down below, in murky water, they're fluttering like flags, clinging to ropes leading 30 meters down to the sea floor. That's where they're exploring the tail section of Air Asia Flight 8501. Muddy, cracked, and upside down, the airline's emblem still unmistakable.
Napas gak kontrol.
We're struggling to breathe, says this diver. We're fighting the sea currents and using up our oxygen quickly. So quickly, they only have enough air for a frustrating 15 minutes to hunt for the so-called black boxes. The tail section houses the flight data and cockpit voice recorders, unless the crash and current suck them away.
Priority of the day is to lift the tail of the plane because the black box could be in there. Later, the search operation team will brief me what's the plan and the details. Once we're confirmed with the proposed action, we'll start doing it.
They'll lift it using balloons that on this day never made it into the sea because the current was too rough. International vessels and more equipment honed in above the tail section. The rescue teams will wait one more day to try and find the flight recorders as weather forced operations to halt.
Let's take a few moments to see who's on a roll today. East Gaston High School, the Warriors of Mount Holly are here. Hello, North Carolina. Richmond Hill is a city in eastern Georgia. It's where we found Richmond Hill Middle School. The Wildcats are watching. And in the Sunflower State, we are in Kansas, Toto. Good to see St. John's Catholic School is watching in Beloit. Last year was a sort of comeback year for the mumps. Haven't heard of that? It's been decades since the disease was common in the U.S. Your grandparents probably had the mumps and are now immune to it. You've probably been vaccinated and are immune to it. Before that vaccine was available, the CDC says around 186,000 Americans got the mumps every year. Today, it's usually just a few hundred per year. But more than 1,000 people got it in 2014, including college students and more than a dozen professional hockey players. The reasons for the increase are a bit of a mystery, but the disease itself is not.
Mumps is an infection that's caused by the mumps virus, even if somebody is not sick at all. And about 1/3 of people who get the mumps infection won't have any symptoms, but they're still carrying the virus and they can still potentially spread it to other people. When you get mumps, a lot of times it's going to feel like just about any other viral infection. But the real characteristic about this particular infection distinguishes just about anything else. Doctors know this. The moment someone walks in is right here. It's these parotid glands. It's what makes you look like a chipmunk. Most of us just get 2 shots to protect us against mumps in our lifetime. One when we're about a year old and another one when we're between 4 and 6 years old. But if you're a healthcare worker, if you're someone who may be in close contact with people with mumps, or if you're traveling to an area where mumps is more endemic, you might consider getting another booster shot. With mumps, just like a lot of other viral infections, the treatment is what we call symptomatic. You're basically trying to let the body get through this period of illness. But for most people, it's a lot of sleep, It's a lot of rest overall, staying hydrated, and letting your body overcome this infection. For the vast majority of people who get mumps, and still about 1,000 people a year in the United States do get it, they're going to be just fine. So you just got to keep an eye on things. If you're getting particularly ill, go to the doctor. But for the most part, people are going to overcome this just fine.
Know what our calendar is called? The Gregorian calendar. It's named for Pope Gregory XIII, who established it back in 1582. But the month of January is named for something far older than that. It's named for Janus, the mythical Roman god of beginnings, also the Roman god of doorways. That's random. The U.S. Capitol building. It's under scaffolding for repairs, but it's where the 114th U.S. Congress is now seated and working. 435 voting representatives, 100 senators. They'll be debating and drafting and determining new laws for the country, but they weren't doing so much of that on Tuesday. It was moving day, a chaotic time of finding and settling into new offices.
This is your camera crew, Ted, that I stole?
Whatever he says.
yeah, right.
So whatever he says about what? Running for president in 2016?
Well, we'll make a decision here fairly soon, as I said, early part of this year. Obviously, today we're here focused on our job in the U.S. Senate. There's a lot of work to be done.
It's day one of the 114th Congress.
Mr. Speaker.
We saw one bipartisan hug. We saw a lot of new senators and members getting sworn in and throwing parties for their friends and family.
My brother is here, and his two children flew down from Boston actually this morning.
So which of you is the older brother?
I'm the older brother. It's an honor, number one, to be reelected to Congress, and it's great to share that moment with your family.
It's been a chaotic day. Seeing folks inside try to figure out their new offices and move in boxes and move in desks. There's been kids, dogs, all kinds of family everywhere as Republicans take control of both the House and the Senate. It's been really interesting to see some of these folks who on the campaign trail were these rising up and coming stars get into their new digs on Capitol Hill. Mia Love is a rising Republican star from Utah, and Paul Ryan came and hugged her parents, said hi. This was after she had a private meeting with a Mormon elder who came here to bring a historic Bible for her to get sworn in on. So it's been a crazy day for her. You know, a lot of fun and games today. Business really starts tomorrow.
Is an invisibility cloak now a reality? It's not just smoke and mirrors. Well, it kind of is. The device bends light and sends it through a number of lenses. The result? It appears you can see through objects placed between the device and what you were originally looking at. Practical use. Think of surgeons who could see through their hands while operating. It's not terribly expensive. The inventors say you can build your own for under $150. It's something you'd have to buy sight unseen. It cloaks objects in plain sight. And if you eye it closely, you could see eye to eye on why it took a visionary to devise the device and how it lends itself for a closer look. CNN Student News returns Monday. Hope all of you have an excellent weekend.